Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Beat the Book, Week 12, Thursday Night Football. How are we doing, BigAL Bettor?
We're doing good, Matt. I see you trying to grow a little facial hair, trying to keep up with the young man. It's not a big deal.
Hey, it's winter time.
It is wintertime. It gets a little chilly, especially when you're in Arizona and it's still 70 degrees, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to, perfect the look here. We've gone a long time of our life, not having facial hair. We're trying to really grow it out, perfect it, try to look a little bit more mature, a little bit more like a real adult. But
Sure. See, out here in Washington, it is cold, so we got hoodies on, but then you're out there in tank tops still out there in Arizona, so it's kind of crazy.
it's 75 in November. I can't complain. I'm not getting, my power out and, storms hitting me and stuff like that. It's just sunny and
Trees
75,
falling
man.
down.
Yep, it's a
Yeah,
country
yeah.
song, so I'll take it.
But I am doing well, Matt. How have you been the last couple days since we haven't made a video since Monday nights?
Good, hit on my teaser on Sunday. You lost on yours, sadly. My condolences. But we hit on mine. We're going to carry that into this week, hit another one. Really good. Sundays have actually been really profitable for us recently, especially with the teasers. So we're just going to keep that going. Sundays are obviously always our biggest episode. Gets the most views, gets the most traction. YouTube, the algorithm tries to push that too. I think they also know that, there's more games on Sunday, more eyeballs looking for content like that. So thanks to you guys for watching, following along. Had a couple people follow our bets last week and hit. We had somebody last Thursday, I believe it was, or Sunday Night Football. It was one
Monday
of the
night,
two. Yeah, one
Sunday
of the
night.
two, and they copied both of our four picks, put them like together, and hit big on it. So love seeing that. Love hearing that from you guys. If you guys are copying, tailing us, or fading us, if you guys are winning money, that's all we really care about here. Whether you're fading or tailing, it doesn't really matter to us as long as we're all out here beating the book, having a good time doing it. So that's what we preach here. Protect the bag, beat the book. But
That's right.
but let's jump into Thursday Night Football. Like I said, it's week 12. Can't believe it's already week 12. We got the red hot, I guess we should say yellow hot, Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Cleveland Browns. Take them on. I don't know about you. I think it's going to be kind of boring. Book has Steelers 3.5 point favorites on the road in Cleveland, and then the over-under set at 36.5 over on FanDuel. I think for you got it at 37.
Correct.
So, yeah, there's the spread. How you see this game going?
So, I think we've talked about the Steelers quite a bit throughout the season, and I've tried to get you to get on board with them a bunch this year, and you have been steadfastly against it. We took them one time in our locks, and we lost the one time we took them, and I've tried to get you to take them every other week, basically, and you've refused to take them. They covered against Washington. They covered against Baltimore, and both times you were on the opposite side. So I implore you here, take them against Cleveland. Cleveland's not good. Their defense isn't as good as it was last season. So, and that was why they were able to stay in games last season, even with Deshaun struggling and with the other quarterbacks till Flacco showed up and was scoring. But the reason they were dominant was because their defense was really, really good. This year, they don't have that. Their defense is not as good. The Steelers' defense is super good, and their offense now has gotten a lot better since Russ got there. So I like Pittsburgh minus 3.5. I think this is going to be I think they're going to win by a lot. The only reason that I think this line is close is just simply because it's the AFC North, and they know those teams tend to just like beat each other up. But I think they're overvaluing Cleveland's defense. And also, if you really do look at it, it is in Cleveland, and they're 3.5 point dogs at home. So if this was in Pittsburgh, you're looking at a 5.5 point spread, which is kind of close to what Green Bay was this last week playing at home or playing in Chicago. So I don't know. I got Pittsburgh minus the 3.5. As far as an over-under, I was looking at it. Cleveland they've hit 36 in so many games and 37 in a bunch of games. But they've been right around there in all their games. The other ones get way over. And then another fun fact for you, if you were interested in taking Pittsburgh minus 3.5, in every single loss, I looked through every loss for the Browns have had, all their losses have been 4 or 5 points or, way more. But the closest they've been in their losses is 4 points, and this is 3.5. So this feels easy to get. Pittsburgh's a way better team. Cleveland sucks. And then I'm going to take the over just simply because Russ didn't have a great game last week. I think he bounces back here against this Cleveland defense that, like I said, is not as good as last year. And I think they're going to be able to get some points, and I like the over here.
Okay. Yeah. Like you said, at the start of your little monologue, I have kind of been a villain for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's mainly because, yeah, we took them and they didn't hit for me, and I've been scorned. I'm a scorned lover at this point. So I will say you're going to be really happy because I am taking the Steelers minus 3.5. And,
Um,
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So if they shame me again and they lose this game somehow, the Cleveland Browns, I'm going to lose my mind. I will always be betting against the Steelers. They'll be in every bet that I have going forward. I'll never
right.
take them again. So, and I don't know. Like in this game, it's going to be a boring
He'll
game.
never.
Like,
It'll be
yeah,
super funny if you never take them again and they make it to the Super Bowl and you're just betting against them the entire playoffs and they're winning, winning,
well, they
winning,
won't beat
winning.
the Lions, so it doesn't matter. But like I was saying, I do like the Steelers here, minus 3.5 on the road in Cleveland. I've hated Cleveland's offense this whole entire year. I think I've actually been more so against the Browns than I have the Steelers. At least the Steelers have somewhat of an offense. I wouldn't say it's great, but I wouldn't say it's bad. It's not the Browns offense. So I do like the Steelers here to win the game. I think it's gonna be really boring if you like big defensive matchups. Then here you go, have at it. Like you said, Cleveland defense is overrated. Definitely not as good as it was last year. Not even like relatively close to how they were last year. So I like the Steelers to
Right.
be able to win this game pretty easily, but I do think it's an under game. So I'm going under that 36.5. I think the
Okay.
book did a really good job on this. Like you were saying, a lot of the over under here seems about right for Steelers games and against the Browns too. Like it should just be pound the ball a lot and should just be a really big back and forth game. So I don't see any team really blowing out the other. Uh, and if one team is going to blow out the other, it'll be the Steelers, and the Browns won't be able to score. So, and I don't think the Steelers are going to score 30 points on them. So I like the under 36.5 here.
Okay. I will say it's a good number for Cleveland games. I don't think it's a good number for Steelers games. The Steelers, since Russ showed up, all their games except for last week against Baltimore have gone over this number.
Yeah, and that's fine. But who have they been playing?
They played the Jets, they played Washington, and then I don't remember who else they played.
I know where you're going with that too. I'm just saying, like, I feel like even the Jets, like, yeah, the Jets have struggled this year, and we thought the Jets were gonna be great. They haven't been, but I mean, they could still score points, and I think that in that game against Pittsburgh, didn't they score a couple touchdowns?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't see the Browns doing that, is what I'm saying. So, and I
You
also
don't
don't.
think they're going to get any points?
No, I do. I think they'll score a touchdown or two, maybe. But I also only think that the Steelers are going to score two touchdowns. I don't like how Russ played last week. I get that it was against the Ravens. I get that the Ravens are a great team, but I still don't like Russell Wilson. I haven't liked him for a long time. Even when he made it to the Super Bowl, I still didn't like him. Like I think he's been an overrated quarterback his whole entire career. So and like
Okay.
last week was kind of just icing on the cake for me. So I don't have the most amount of faith in the Steelers offense, but I do like the run game, love the defense. Like they should win this game handedly, but I don't
Right.
think they're going to blow them out of the water or score a ton of points on them. So that's why I like the
Okay.
under there.
No, I like obviously the book makes the line knowing there's going to be a lot of people on the under, a lot of people on the over. They try to set a perfect line, right?
Hmm.
So they think that this number is right around where they're, margin for error over or under. So that's why the lines are the lines, right? So I don't fault you for saying under. I guess I'm more hoping for an over than, but also like I said, Pittsburgh, since Russ took over, aside from last week against Baltimore, they've gotten over this number. So I'm just trusting that. I'm trusting that last week for Russ mostly was an aberration and not the norm.
Hmm. Then we'll see. We'll see, Thursday night. But jump into the
Absolutely.
next part of this video, which was the four pick parlay. What do you have for me?
Okay, so this is a super easy four pick parlay. I'm going to keep it under a minute so I can make a short for it. But anyway, I got Russell Wilson thrown for 200 plus passing yards. It is plus money in this game, which is interesting. He's done it in every game except for one. 2 games ago, he threw for 195, and I think that was the Commanders game. Then I've got George Pickens, 70 plus receiving yards. He's done that in every game since Russ took over. I've got Najee Harris, 75 plus rushing plus receiving. Seems super easy. Najee has been on fire lately. And then this one, Steelers minus 2.5 for the first half spread. You put all those four together, it's plus 1,100 over on DraftKings.
Okay. I feel like you're getting pretty juice numbers, but then again, I don't know. Because, I mean, plus money on Russ to throw for 200. That seems like a weird one to get plus money on.
Pickens is plus for 70 yards as well, and he's gotten over 80 every time since Russ took over.
Okay.
So I could have gone 80, but I was like, yo, let's make sure this thing hits. So I dropped it to 70, and it's still like plus 120, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'll jump into mine. I have the Najee Harris line like you do. I was going to take him for 70. I decided to go with 80, though, rushing and receiving yards, just like Najee in this
Yep.
matchup. He should be the focal point here. Then we got Cedric Tillman, 50-plus receiving yards and 4 catches. Love it. Love the 4 receptions for him there. Last 4 weeks, he's had 8 targets, 11 targets, 9 targets, 12 targets. He gets to the ball a ton. Browns offense, since they don't have Amari Cooper anymore, has literally just gone all to Cedric Tillman. So I like that a lot. And then last we got Nick Chubb, anytime touchdown. Like I said, I think the Browns will score something, and I think it'll be Nick Chubb. And then that pays out plus 976. So right around what
Bro,
you had for yours, but just not as high.
you said 976,
Yeah, 976.
and he had 40 yards and 4 catches for Tillman.
50 yards and then four
Oh,
catches.
50.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
like the targets, like the volume for him is there. Like, and then
mhm.
here, the last 4 games, okay? Because this is last 4 games. That's when Amari Cooper got traded. So since Amari Cooper got traded, it's been 12 targets, 9 targets, 11 targets, and last week was 8 targets. And it's been 81 yards, 99 yards, 75 yards, and 47 yards. So last week was the only week that he didn't hit it. So I like him for the 50. It just makes the most sense to me.
Okay. And they played the Saints in a close game, which, um, if your game isn't close, then obviously you throw more. So maybe that's why he didn't get as many yards.
Yeah, and to take the page out of your book that you like to throw in my face every week, every time that we're talking about like a player and you mention stats, it's he had 12 targets, 9 targets, and 11 targets, right?
Okay.
All those games he had over 50 yards, and then this is the one week where he only has 8 targets. So what happens if he gets 9 targets? He probably gets 3 extra yards and hits that 50
Sure.
mark. So I like the one game to be an anomaly where it's like he still had 8 targets. I mean, there's still a lot of targets but
Right.
just not as many catches, not as much production. So I liked him to bounce back again this week against the Steelers defense,
Okay.
which as we know is great. But I mean, it's still your number one receiver. He's gonna get the ball.
I like everything in there except for the Chubb anytime touchdown. Like,
Hmm.
the Steelers are the fourth best team against the run. So, like, to me, that's a tough one. I don't know why you wouldn't have just taken Naj to get in the end zone.
It didn't pay as much for me,
Okay.
and also Naj, in my opinion, he is the favorite in this game, which is kind of crazy that all the guys in this game are plus money to get a touchdown. Like obviously the book
Mm-hmm.
doesn't think there'd be a lot of touchdowns, but
Right.
also like we saw last week, Steelers didn't even score a touchdown. I'm not taking. I don't want to take touchdown scores in my 4 pick parlay for the Steelers that literally just kick field goals. So
But it's the only game since Russ got there that they haven't had a touchdown.
yeah, I know, but call me a scoring lover still. Like I'm gonna take last week and I'm gonna go with that because I haven't been following the Steelers all year like you have
I feel like this is
apparently.
I, I feel like this is a 30-point Steeler game. They're gonna score 30. Cleveland's gonna score 14, and we're gonna fly past this over. That's what it feels like. I don't
I'm telling
because
you. Okay, so I have a question for you. If they let's just say that the Browns score 2 touchdowns, who's getting the
sure
touchdowns?
Chubb,
There you go. That's all I have
and
to say.
then
See, even you agree with me on that, where it's and I was getting better odds on Nick Chubb. So I like them.
okay,
Yeah, they're
okay,
playing from behind, but give me a PI or them just get stopped at the 1 yard line. I just like Chubb. Chubb's
okay,
still a
all
great
right,
runner. Like he's the guy over there.
sure, all right.
Mm-hmm. All right, touchdown scores. Who you got for me? You got me.
Mm-hmm.
You got me 3.
I got 3 like always, except well, almost always, because there was that one week where I had 4. But
Yep.
I've got Najee Harris at plus 105 on DraftKings. We know what Najee is about. He's about scoring touchdowns, and he's on fire right now. So I just love Najee. And I've never liked Najee, but this year I like Najee. So we're going Najee Harris plus 105. I like George Pickens at plus 200, which seems incredible. And since Russ got there, he's been on fire. And then I like David Njoku at plus 300 for the Browns. I think if anybody's going to be able to get in the end zone and get a touchdown, give me the biggest guy on the field for the Browns. Give me a David Njoku.
Okay. I like that. I like Njoku there. I wasn't gonna. I thought about Njoku a lot, but I was like, I have 2 other guys for the Browns I'm gonna take instead. But we do agree on 2 of those. Obviously, it's Najee and obviously George Pickens. George Pickens, the talent, and then also the production since Russell Wilson took over. It just keeps going up. So I like that a lot. Najee, like we already talked about, ad nauseum. He's been on a tear. He's been on a heater, and I don't like Najee either. I've never liked Najee Harris, but this year he's actually had a great year. So I mean,
Sure.
we got to throw our money where we know it's going to hit. So like that a lot. Then we got Nick Chubb plus 155. Already talked about him. Obviously, he's in the 4 pick parlay. Got to throw him in here. Then my reach is Cedric Tillman, the guy I also have in my 4 pick parlay, not to score a touchdown, but to get a lot of yards, a lot of production. He's sitting at plus 360, and Nick Chubb's
Okay.
plus 155. But
Okay.
yeah, Cedric Tillman,
What?
like, good.
Okay. I was gonna say what numbers? What were the odds over there on FanDuel for Najee and for Pickens?
Plus 105 and then plus 220 for Pickens.
Okay.
hmm
Anyway, you're gonna say Tillman?
Oh, I was just gonna say I just like what he's been doing the last 4 weeks. So I like him. Like if anybody scores for the Browns, I think it will be Tillman on a 30-yard touchdown or something like that. Like he's just the number one target. And anytime that you can get a number one target, if they get into the red zone, I mean, and they're not gonna use Nick Chubb. If it's a third down, they're probably not running it with Chubb. Probably gonna throw it to the guy that's tried and true, which could be Ninjoku for sure. But
Right, for
mhm.
sure.
That's why I don't mind that pick at all for the touchdown score. And I thought about him too, but I like to go with
Okay.
Cedric Tillman there instead.
Well, it looks like from what you were saying with the target share, he's definitely the guy that's got like a lot of juice behind him right now. He's hot.
A lot of opportunity. And that's what I like when
Right.
it comes to touchdown scores. The guy that's going to touch the ball the most, besides the running back, if you're taking the receiver, dude, I got to throw him in there. It's just like with Pickens. Like Pickens is going to touch the ball more than anybody else besides Najee. So you take Najee, you take George Pickens, and you just, there's it's just how you should be gambling with touchdown scorers because the guys that touch the ball the most normally find the end zone too.
Well, it's not even about that. It's just the law of like averages, right? If you get more opportunity to touch the rock, there's more opportunity to score. If you barely touch the rock, then your odds of scoring a touchdown are very slim.
It's like the guys that I normally have for my reaches, for these
Right.
games.
Right.
They're plus 400 or plus 500 because the book knows they're only going to get like three targets. So you can have
hmm
those guys that are super reliable where they only throw to them in the red zone. They get three targets. They usually have three catches, and they'll either get stopped at the 1 yard line or they'll get the touchdown. So, mhm. But yeah,
Right.
I like Tillman to have a big game here for sure. But that's all that we got for you guys. Unless there's anything else you want to add.
Nope, I'm good. I think I've said everything I need to say. Let's go Pittsburgh.
Let's go Pittsburgh. Don't burn me again. I really hope that you guys do lose because I don't think you're as good as your record, says. But then again, you can't argue with the numbers. That's what we do over here. We try to argue with the numbers. We try to put our own spin on the numbers. But at the end of the day, we play the books numbers just like everybody else. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Enjoy Thursday Night Football, and we'll catch you guys for Sunday.